In quiet moments of honest reflection, wisdom blooms like a morning light through stained glass, each color a forgotten truth about myself. This is how we become whole, learning to love even the shadows we carry. Welcome to Rebel Poets Rising. Dearest Rebel, it's a difficult thing to know thyself, to see the things that have hurt and helped, shaped and dismantled you. See, to truly know thyself is to stand before a mirror that shows not just your face, but every version of you that has ever been. It's to see the small child who once feared thunderstorms, the teenager who dreamed impossible dreams, and the adult who learned to navigate both hope and disappointment. Everything has shaped you, consciously and unconsciously, with renowned psychologist Carl Jung saying, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate." You aren't defined by only what has built you up and propelled you on your journey, but also by the things that have broken you. Whether you like it or not, choose it or disregard it. It exists as memories etched onto your soul. But that can sometimes make the act of knowing ourselves that much more difficult. It's oftentimes a narrative that's been written in a language that is just too tough to decipher. It might speak in the voice of an uptick in your heart rate and emotional state when you hear a song, or in the smells of rain in the post-winter ground that remind you of a time long ago where you experienced a refreshing in your spirit as new life began to sprout. It could be in the way your shoulders tense up as voices are raised in the midst of an argument. See, Jung understood that your unconscious mind is like a vast underground river, flowing deftly and seamlessly beneath the carefully crafted exterior built to explain yourself. Its currents carrying moments and moments you've forgotten, fears you've tried to abandon, and strengths you've yet to allow to rise up. Swimming in these waters is where you can learn to truly know yourself. But having the right vessel that can navigate both treacherous waters and the expanse of open sea is what will provide you with an assurance your process isn't all chaos. It's possible that this is why the journey to know thyself is less about reaching a destination and more about learning to sail well. Understanding when to raise your sails to catch life's wind, when to drop anchor in still waters for reflection, and when to weather the storms that threaten to overwhelm. The longship you're steering isn't just the tools and practices you develop for self-discovery. It's also the courage to look beneath the surface and the compassion to embrace what you find there. In the end, maybe the most profound question isn't, do I know myself? But rather, am I willing to keep exploring the depths of who I am, even when the waters grow dark and the maps can no longer guide me? It's in that willingness that lies not just self-knowledge, but the potential for transformation and the chance to become not just who we are right now, but become who we've always been meant to be. Because like I said before, safe never changed the world. This journey you're on, it never truly ends. Each wave brings new understanding. Each storm carries wisdom in its winds, and each quiet harbor holds space for deeper reflection. It's possible that you'll find yourself sailing in circles, returning to the same patterns and pain points you thought you'd left behind. But it's worth the reminder that even the most skilled navigators sometimes need to travel the same waters twice to truly grasp their depths. The beautiful part of this lies in knowing that every time you circle back, you're not the same sailor you were before. Your map is richer, your hands are steadier, and your heart, wild and brave as it is, it knows the difference between drowning and diving deep. And you, the defiant muse, you were born for transformation. I'm your host, Kate Harris, and this is The Rebel Poets Rising, a podcast for those who dare to rewrite the rules. Join me every week as we fan the spark of rebellion into a roaring fire, unite with fellow rule breakers and wake makers, and discover the power of our authentic voices together. Somewhere out there, someone needs to hear exactly what you have to say, exactly the way only you can say it, because your voice is the revolution we've been waiting for.
The Rebel Poets Rising podcast is a production of Istoria. To learn more about Istoria and the Istoria studio, visit Istoria.com. For more Rebel Poet resources, visit rebelpoetsrising.com.